Hello. Thanks for joining us today on Living the Life. I'm Esther Graham. Welcome to Vibrations 2 with Kenney D. James, multi instrument musician, actor, and producer. If you've seen Vibrations 1 and enjoyed it, then I know you're going to love Vibrations 2. So without further delay, let's hear from Kenny, shall we?
Yeah.
So I went to three different high schools in Alabama. I started at Jess Lanier, went to
Okay.
Hueytown, and graduated from Inslee.
Oh, wow.
So um, the racism there was just, I never heard so much separation and hatred until I got there. And I
It was.
understood it. I understood it, but for me, that wasn't me. And then the Black kids didn't like me because of where I lived. I lived in Inslee Highlands. And
Okay.
the house I grew up in, I think there was 18 rooms in it, something like that.
Okay.
Average
Nice
student,
area. I know where you're
very nice
talking
area.
about. Uh-huh.
Kids I went to school with, the majority of them, you stick the key in the front door, you're breaking out the back window. So they're in the shotgun houses up on the brick. So they don't like me because they think that I'm all uppity because I live up in the hills.
Wow.
So now I got to deal with that. Now I have the white kids over here who don't like me because I live in their neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
So I would catch it from both sides, going to school and coming home every single day. So when I got home, I had drums, I had a bass, I had guitar, I had percussion, I had albums, I had a basement that nobody went in except me. So I didn't get schoolwork done a lot of times because I would immediately go in, grab something to eat, go downstairs and start playing music.
Wow.
And my punishment when I didn't get good grades is my mother would take my instruments and she would put them on the stand in her room and tell me, you can't touch this until your next report card comes in and your grades are up.
Oh, wow.
So for me, that meant, okay, hustle for 6 weeks and get my instruments back. That's all I cared about. Because that was what kept me going, was the fact that I had music as an outlet that made me feel good about everything. And I listened to Leonard Skinner band. I listened to all kinds of country white rock that most Black people wouldn't listen to. And if the white people heard me listen to it, they think I was crazy. But for me, it wasn't a Black or white thing. It was music. Because I came up with, I got a cousin who looks just like this dude who plays this type of music. And he doesn't call me anything bad. He loves me. He'll knock you out for calling me what you might want to call me. So it's a different, and it's the mentality of racism is ignorance.
Oh, yes.
It's sheer ignorance. And if you can hate someone that you've never had any type of interaction with, you have the problem. They don't have the problem. You do. If you're walking down the street and someone just falls out, passes out on the street, are you going to walk past them because they're wearing a blue sweater? Are you going to do what you can to help that person? Or are you going to look at them and go, well, they're green. I'm not going to touch that green person. They're yellow. They're white. People will stop. The freeway will shut down because a dog is running around on the freeway, but a man is laying over here starving to death and everybody walks past him and tells him to get his life together. You'll help the dog. And as human beings, we can't be that way. And that's from hatred and ignorance. That's all racism is, and ignorance. That's all racism is. If everybody closed their eyes and we had to walk around blind, what would we hate each other for then? The way you smell, the way your hair feels, where everybody had a bald head. So where does this hatred come from? It's a taught thing. And music has brought so many people together in the last 30 years because of younger generation saying, you know what, mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, I'm not hating on this guy over here because and those are the advances that we got to make as people understanding everybody's an individual.
Yes, yes.
What you like to eat doesn't mean this person likes to eat it. That doesn't make that person bad.
Right.
It's different. We have to, if all you know about is your culture, your life's boring. When how many different cultures, there are more cultures out here. You can't learn about all of them in a lifetime. So why would you just want to learn about one? And then we as Black people, we're like, well, you better talk about Africa, focus on Africa, blah, blah, Africa. I'm not in Africa. We're not in Africa. And if you want that to be your focus, why are you telling me that while you're sitting in your house in sunny California? You should be telling me from Africa, but don't tell me that while you're sitting in your yard by your pool. Here, that's lip service I don't buy into. So the racism will end when we stop teaching it. As soon as we stop calling each other the N-word, we'll advance. We will say that to each other all day, every day. We'll get paid. We get paid to call each other that. But if somebody of a different race calls us that, we'll kill them.
Yeah, well, that's true. You're speaking truth.
If a cop kicks in the door and shoots you, how many of them gangster brothers are going to go track that cop down and get retribution for him taking you out? Not one. But let a brother break in your house and do something, and the whole neighborhood will hunt him down and string him up, won't they? What's the difference?
Wow.
All perspective. So one of all these Black men that's in the ghetto talking about, I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm down for my hood. I'm down for my people. Show me. Show me how down you are for your people. Go out here and let's get some retribution for all this stuff that's been done to these Black women and Black children. You won't do it, but you'll take out another brother because he looked at you the wrong way or stepped on your Jordans. And I'm just being,
I appreciate that about you. I appreciate that about you.
We have to change first. Why would when I see these women wear these necklaces, why would you do that to yourself? Why would you degrade yourself? You do it yourself, but then they run around #MeToo. I want to be respected by men. Yes, you should be respected, and you have a right to wear and do whatever you want, but let's keep it in perspective. You're dealing with a male who has two thoughts: sex and food, sex and food, sex and food. And if you're standing there doing provocative things in front of him, is he thinking about taking you to church with him? No. Is he thinking about taking you home to meet his mother? No. So what you're putting out is how it changes. And I mentioned to you once before, you've never seen Patti LaBelle take her clothes off. You've never seen Whitney Houston take her clothes off. You've never seen Sade take her clothes off. And all of these women are multi-gazillionaires. Whitney Houston's passed away, rest her. But the women who are alive are all filthy rich, and they never took their clothes off. So why do you have to do it now? Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, all these young girls out here that are rappers are former strippers. There's nothing wrong with being a stripper. It's a profession. It's an honest job. But what happened to the girls who could sing that kept their clothes on? They don't get a job anymore.
So what I'm hearing, Kenny, you're saying that how we present ourselves, the values that we have here, we demonstrate them in manifestations, how we dress, the example. Yeah.
I lost a gig in Hollywood that would have paid me close to $300,000 a year.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get it because I wouldn't act like that fool they were looking for. I refused to do it.
Tell me about it. Tell us about it.
With what I can tell you about it, it was an audition for a celebrity judge show, and they wanted a bailiff. And I was asked to audition for this. And basically what my wife was told is I basically got the job. I just got to get through this one audition. So the audition was, I was supposed to read this line, and I'll just use your name in the script.
Okay.
As what the bailiff would say. And you've been in a courtroom, you've seen what a bailiff does. So my line is, all rise, the Honorable Esther has entered the courtroom. You may be seated. And they were like, can you do it with a little more conviction? Now I'm sitting on a Zoom call with like 10 people staring at me. And I'm like, can you do it with a little more conviction? So I sit up straight. All rise for the Honorable Esther. You may all be seated. And they're like, okay, bye.
What?
Click, gone. Thank you, bye, click. And I didn't get it. So I was like, wow, what did I do wrong? So what I did was went and investigated the celebrity judges, the Black celebrity judges. And if you look at the bailiff, first show I went to was Steve Harvey. The bailiff was not wearing a policeman's uniform like a bailiff wears on a court show. This dude had on a double-breasted suit with a tie and his jewelry and his rings and his. And here's what was all rise for the Honorable Steve. I was like, that's what they wanted me to do.
Oh wow!
And at first, I was kind of disappointed because I found out how much it was paid. And like $300,000, that, you know, it's a lot of money.
That's good money.
It changed a lot of things for me. And I was talking to my aunt, and she said to me, wow, that's a lot of money. I'm glad you didn't get it. And I kind of looked at her and she goes, because I don't know if I would have been proud to tell anybody that's my nephew acting like a fool.
Okay.
And for me, that was all the vindication I needed. I'm closer to my aunt than I am with anybody in my family, including my own mother. I'm closer to her. And for her to say to me that she would have been disappointed to see me do that, that's all I need to hear. It's just like my wife saying to me, no, you're not going to do that. And there's enough, man, I'm going to get some hate mail for saying this. If you notice with comedians, and I don't want to say everybody because that's generalizing, with a lot of successful comedians, whether they're Black, Hispanic, or Asian, their success is on belittling their own race for the most part. Wow. And you can't tell me one Black comedian that's not on stage constantly dropping the N-word for his predominantly Caucasian audience. You have an Asian comedian with a primarily Caucasian audience. They degrade, you know, and it doesn't happen with all of them, but you see it a lot. And I was told by someone in Hollywood who has worked for a while, they looked me right in the face and they said, if you're willing to cut down your own people, there's always a job for you in Hollywood.
Oh, really?
And if you think about when we get angry about the characterizations that we see on TV, why is it? Because it's one of our people looking like a fool. When you see the other people, they're the doctors, the lawyers, the judges. And not saying we're not shown in some positive aspects, but there's more negative than there is positive. And that's one of the problems right there. We're put in that position where you want to be successful, you want to feed your family, you want to send your kids to a good school, and all I got to do is go up on stage and drop a couple of N-bombs to be successful. And it goes both ways. My wife has brought it to my attention that there are several white female comedians when they've hit this level of vulgarity that's just period, that why do we have to go there? It's not necessary to stoop to that level, but that will get you laughs from, and that's what the cameras, TV cameras need, laughs. The nightclub needs laughs. They need people buying drinks, and we understand it's a business. But there was a time when there was a lot of great comedians that didn't have to get on stage and be racial. It actually didn't happen because you would have been shunned for making racist jokes. Now, when do you not hear a joke about dealing with someone's race or their sexuality? it's an easy topic to pick on people with. So again, how do we move forward? By not going that route. I had a discussion with a rapper that I have so much respect for. We sat up till 3:30 in the morning, and we started at about 7 on a discussion on why he didn't need to use the N-word in his music. I'm like,
why he didn't need to use
why
it.
he didn't. I felt that he didn't need
right.
say brother instead of the N-word.
Right.
Same point. I walked up on a group of brothers, they was all holding guns. The same point is brought across, and you saying I walked up on a group of N's and they were all holding guns. What's the difference? Wow. We all understand the context of it, so you don't have to go there. Now, when other people from other races hear this music, they're not going to be riding around saying a word they shouldn't say. They're going to go, I walked up on a group of brothers and they all carrying guns. The N-word never comes into it, but we're the ones throwing it out there. So if you're saying it all the time, why am I wrong for saying it? Because I'm a different color? Really? All right, so I won't say it in front of you, but I'm at home with all my other friends and we doing like other teenagers doing. We're pretending we rapping the songs and we're saying the N-word because it's just me and all my other friends, so y'all don't even hear us doing it. But if that wasn't in the song, it's not music to me. It's not entertainment. But that's what this generation is accepting of now. Why? Because the other stuff was taken away from them. The positive messages were taken away. And in place of them, you put this negativity. They're kids. I got shoes as old as some of these kids. But if you have nothing else to see, we can't blame them. You blame the person that's putting it there for them to see it.
But Kenny, that is sobering. How do you think people like you're in the industry of music, and you said that music has a way of bringing people together, and it does. How can people like you and what you do, everyday people like me and what I do, that have a heart for people, they want society to be different, and all the things that you mentioned, and it is so prevalent, you're so right on it. What can we do to promote change?
Start promoting each other, start supporting each other.
Start supporting each other. Okay.
And we hear it it's, to me, I hear it all the time. I don't see it all the time.
Okay.
And a lot of people, I think, it's like just being politically correct in your environment. It's the right thing to say, Oh, I give back to the community. Oh, I love helping. I love doing this. And you're just talking. You can't show where you're helping. And helping, to me, I think money is great, but money doesn't necessarily always get to the people who need it. I think time is more valuable than money. Just yesterday, there was a young girl I saw on, I think it was Facebook, playing acoustic guitar and singing. And I reached out to her, and she lives in Kuwait. I mean, she's really on the other side of the globe.
Wow.
And I just said to her, I think you have a really interesting voice. Do you have anyone you're working with doing music? She goes, nope, just me and my guitar. And I was like, I'd like to work with a producer. I go, here's my information. You can go check out get back to me. And she wrote back to me 10 minutes later and she goes, are you serious? She goes, I can't believe this is happening right now.
Wow.
That right there, I'm happy. That's it, because I just made someone feel better about what they're doing.
Yes.
Inspired her to move forward. Now I told her what I need her to do, the next steps to do it, and she's on. So if we put our own egos aside and stop that everything has to come back to us and benefit us all the time. If we can get past that, and it's ego-driven issue, we'll do better. I know there's a guy, I really have to mention him to you. His name's Leo Shia. He's in Taipei, Taiwan. I met this guy maybe 8, 9 years ago. And he and I, from the moment we sat down, it was like, this is my brother who I've never met.
Wow.
And I was talking to someone else, and they were like, you got to meet this guy, Leo. You got to meet him. You got to meet. And then we finally met, and the person took me to his house, and then he and I sat down, and it was just like putting a car battery. The energy was just unbelievable. And it went so well with he and I. 20 minutes into us talking, he's calling this other musician up. He's like, dude, you need to we got to get together.
Wow.
And he has been such a positive force in helping people. That's all this guy wants to do. He's done more for music in Taiwan than any artist that I've ever known about. And he does it in a way where he's letting people be themselves. He's just being a guiding light for them. Because he's been down the road. He knows what it's like. He understands the industry. He's seen success. So now he's giving that back. And to see that, that's what we need, is more of people giving to help instead of giving for publicity.
Wow.
Not once has he said to me, hey, put this on your radio show. Do this, do this, do this. No, he doesn't do it. And I've gone to him going, hey, send me some new artists. And he'll send me artists. So it's like I know it exists. We just have to support each other more. It's so, here's one of the easiest things to do. When someone goes on Facebook and you see, or Instagram, either one, and you see someone put up a post saying, Friday night, my band is playing at McDonald's. It takes you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds to click on share and share that post.
Okay.
So now, whatever amount of people see what you post are gonna see that this person's band is playing Friday night at McDonald's. You see it, you repost it, and it just keeps going and going. That's the easiest way. But do we do that? No. I got one of the guys who just started, he's going to be a jazz DJ on our radio station. He said to me once, he goes, there are people out there who refuse to buy your instruments, buy your shirts, or listen to your radio station just because they're haters. And it's our own people. He's like, he told me, because they don't like you. They don't like you. They think you're this, they think you, and instead of coming to me going, how did you do this? How did you do that? It's easier in this generation now to just go, I don't like that person.
Wow.
I'll cancel them out. I don't like them. We've never met. How can you not like somebody? And that's racism 101. You don't like someone you never met. We can be racist against each other.
Oh, yes.
If we supported each other, we wouldn't have to worry about anybody else supporting us. If I go and do the demographics from my album sales, I can tell you how many of my own people supported it.
Really? And it's different.
But everybody, it used to bother me. And then I came to this realization that we cannot expect everybody to support everything that we do. And that's it. And once you can accept that, you move on. My famous words I said to you before, water on rocks.
Yeah.
You can accept that philosophy of be water on rocks. That was Bruce Lee's philosophy. Be water on rocks all the time. And if you're like that, you're always flowing. You're not a dam where you're stopped and everything backs up and then it becomes a flood. You're always flowing.
Wow.
So
I love that.
Don't let other people's hangups and idiosyncrasies affect your life. If you really feel like you like polar bears, go to Alaska and go find some polar bears. Don't let people tell you you can't do that or you shouldn't do that. That's not their dream, their wants. And as soon as we can get past our own egos and idiosyncrasies of what we like and open our hearts and minds to what other possibilities are out there, we all advance. But first, we got to start at home.
Yes, I do agree. Well,
People
guess
will make
what?
fun about Mexicans and Chinese about there's
Mhm.
20 people living in that house, but we will throw a relative out in the street because they haven't got a job instead of helping them. But then we talk about how many people live in that house. You know what? Yeah, there's 20 people in that house. None of them are living on the street.
Right,
We will throw
absolutely.
cousin so-and-so, he hasn't had a job in 2 years and he was on drugs and drinking. You need to get out. Yeah. Where's he going? So if we're not willing, and I understand it's hard doing that, and you get tired of giving and taking, but you have to always be able to give. And as long as you're giving, you'll receive. You just don't see it when you're receiving it. That's all.
Wow, I love that. Well, guess what? I can talk to you forever. We got to have part two. And I
Sure.
will like to share this. You told me about your bases, and I'm still looking at that beautiful wood.
That's one of my, that's the
Yeah,
first signature base that we had.
yes. Well, guess what? When I'm able to, I will purchase a base from you because you make them by
Or when I'm
hand.
able to, I might just be able to give you one.
Oh my God.
Every
Oh,
year, we would give away a bass guitar.
no.
Every year when I would release my album, I would give away one of the bass guitars that I used on the album. This
Oh
was
my
the first year
goodness.
that I didn't do it because in order for people to register to win the bass guitar, they
Uh-huh.
go to my website. Facebook,
Oh,
if you put any type of links on Facebook is going to take people away, they shut it down. Because now you're no longer on Facebook, you're interacting on my website.
oh.
Right. So because of the fiascos of trying to deal with that, we stopped dealing, and now we're going to take everything over to the radio station. So all the prizes,
Okay.
everything we give away, whatever prizes we do, will be done through the radio station. I'm not using, I went back to old school, sending people emails. I stopped
Okay.
depending on social media for it. If you're not paying them, why would they let people see your posts when they're getting people to pay them to see them?
Oh, okay.
Why would they let you do it for free?
Well, guess what? I will
Right.
be looking at, I like what you said about us supporting each other.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I do appreciate you sharing my post. And I think it was something artists helping other
Artists
artists.
support artists. I do that all
Yeah,
the time.
I love
That's what I
that.
said to you before. It's that easy when you see someone has something going on to just share it. And I
Yeah,
always share people's stuff. I don't even know who they are. I haven't even heard their music. I don't even know what they sound like.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if I got 5,000 people following friends and 15,000 followers, if
Mhm.
10 of those people see it, I'm helping that person out. And it does
Absolutely.
it
Well,
for
guess
free.
what? Well, guess what? I shared your post. You were playing a piece. I don't know what it was, but it was pretty interesting. I shared it, and my
Oh,
sister in
thank you.
New York saw it. She said, "Oh my goodness, he is good." So I'm, I'm helping too.
Thank
I
you.
am
Thank you.
helping. Yeah. Oh
Thank you so
yes.
much. I
So I
appreciate
will continue
it.
to do that. I
Right on.
most
Right
certainly
on.
will. Well,
Right on.
this has been awesome, Kenny. And please tell Alice on the next time she must be here
Yes.
too, so we can interview her.
We'll get the boss in here.
Oh, that get the boss in there. Oh, that's right. I like that. It has been really nice having you on Living the Life. You have been awesome. You've shared so many things that have helped me, and I do look forward to seeing you in the future.
Thank you. I look forward to chatting with you again. And hello to all of your audience and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year, Kenneth. Bye-bye.